Hey guys, how's it going? I'm going to be presenting to you what I have so far for my project. I am 5.5 weeks in. You are invited to give me feedback, opinions, and I will respond to it, and I will also be showing it to my tutors. So this is kind of the feedback loop I'm trying to establish this year. A Place of Your Own is a project about self-building, self-designing, self-constructing, direction to the dullness in living spaces today, whereas a student renting a flat, you get the furniture that already exists. You have walls that you can't touch, you can barely stick things on. There's just not many ways to customize and make a place feel like home. And how is my experience applicable to architects? This looks into the history. So architects originated as master builders. So you would be a part of the design process, the consultation process, and a part of the building process. And if you look at this graph illustrating the amount of roles that plays into making a building come to life today, architects are only a tiny little part in this whole system. What that's taken away from us is, first of all, the joy in constructing, making what you've designed come to life, and also our control over the final product. This project comes not from an architect standpoint, but from a client that can start doing the architect's job, the constructor's job, doing the management's job. As we all can agree, you know yourself best. Why not do the job yourself if you really want something personalized to you? My site is in Catford. It's in the borough of Lewisham. It's about a 40-minute tube ride from central London. Catford is under a massive redevelopment, and a lot of places are getting demolished, replaced with new builds. So I think it's right for me to slide myself in, so I don't force my building on a site that's previously like a green space that's never been built on, or an existing building that had no plan to be demolished. My site specifically is this area in the center of the town in order to kind of promote this growth. All these little triangles mark the points of interest, for example, restaurants, shops. So you can see this is kind of the central hub, and this is the downtown street of the town. The first picture shows the streets along the downtown area. The second picture is a residential area, and the Broadway Theater, which is this domey structure. My site is this entire area that marks the parking spaces, a bit of green spaces, and also Lawrence House, which is the council office building for Lewisham Council to house their own workers. It's all offices, it's a 6th floor building, and what they mainly deal with is council housing. So a lot of people go there to register for a council house and also to check on the wait time and get information. And the plan highlighted in the Catford Town Centre framework, which is the redevelopment plan, is that they will move all the offices towards the theater in this wing right here. The Lawrence House will be demolished and be replaced by these low-rise residential blocks. What I'm proposing is that you keep the Lawrence House. They're demolishing it due to low insulation efficiency. So what I say is why don't you just add some more insulation to it and retrofit it into a housing scheme, so it minimizes the money and pollution demolishing it will create. On this parking lot spaces, we'll build more houses. On the green space existing there, we'll put down all the public space infrastructures that are also self-built, so the community can come together, and each of them will be informed by a kind of different reference that connects to self-build. As for the material to do the self-building, so the strategy is to mainly source 3 different types of materials. First will be waste timber structures. This will come mainly from the film set construction company. We had a set designer come in to talk to us the other week, and what he said is that almost all props, even if they build a giant building just for a movie, that entire thing goes to waste. If you live in London as well, you see a lot of these furniture is getting tossed out onto the street. Tables, couches, even pool tables. And the third type of material will be these second-hand home objects, which can be found in second-hand shops, garage sales, online like Facebook Marketplace, and also antique shops. In my interpretation, I think this preserves what it already exists on site, but to celebrate it more. And this map just roughly maps out the spaces that I'll be collecting these waste from based on what I saw. So the first step into designing will be for the public space. I imagine this whole process of self-building to be kind of a storyline. This will start from a consultation stage where I try to get people engaged in why self-building is good and what you can self-build. So I started this off with a kiosk of imagination. The purpose of this little movable installation is that it would try to engage with as many people as possible that are looking for council houses. So I've situated it in front at the lawn space right next to the council building, the office building, Lawrence House. So it'll be on the front, and it will try to engage both sides, traveling past it. So this side and also this side. And it will have these TV screens which display this consultation process to them and attract them to hopefully be wanting to be more informed by it. And going more into it, I created a digital model of it, of course. That's what architects do, right? And the main thing I'm highlighting here is the reuse of furnitures, the consultation process, and this final picture kind of just shows how waste parts can be joined together. For example, this pool table and these used pipes. This thing is literally trying to be a flex of what self-building can achieve. Right? This is like the temple of self-building, which you pass by and you're like, shit, that's a sick thing. Can I make my own? And you go talk to them, they're like, yes, you can. An interior render of this shows more of the imagination bit of this and also the documentation bit. So the imagination is highlighted by the different components of architecture that is manufactured in small scale and dotted around the entire place. If you talk about windows, you can actually have windows to look at, different styles of windows found in Catford. Little recycled parts from doll houses that allows you to play with different parts of a building and also different materials. You have the choice too that's also collected from around the site. And finally, documentation, which is big for this kiosk, is that you are showing off this process to as many people as possible. And that is taken from Nubia Way. So Nubia Way is a project of self-building. So essentially this group of people that wanted social housing, they negotiated with the local council, they got a grant, and they built their own social houses for themselves. In return for their work in construction and design, they get reducted rent for a certain amount of years. The major benefit from it, first of all, you get the council housing a lot faster than if you were to wait for the government. The second benefit is that you get a real connection to these homes. And third benefit, you get a real community of people you build these homes with. And what the leader says is that this project is so positive, but really no one knows about it. So that's why he made this documentary, to kind of really get this idea out there of self-building and all the positive stuff that comes with it. So the documenting and displaying of the kiosk takes from that. Moving on, retrofitting. So this comes in the Lawrence house. So we're taking the existing structure and just retrofitting it into apartment spaces. What's really interesting about this is that I don't need to think about how the building stands up. The building already stands. Or how the building insulates. The building is already insulated. Fair enough, it might not be very well insulated, but I can just add bits to it. So what I'm really focusing for this retrofitting is to make customizable spaces inside of this building. So it's about maximizing how many people you can house comfortably inside of this building, but also minimizing the effort it would take them to construct these spaces. So this takes from the Siegel method, which is a 30-page document published by Walter Siegel by the AJ Journal 50 years ago. There are over 300 houses from this method currently just in the UK alone. You can build real houses that work, and the fact that you can build this thing yourself without any prior knowledge of construction is incredible. How it does it is it uses a very grid-based method of having weight-bearing columns and a base frame that carries weight. You get these prefabricated somewhere else, you get it shipped, and you just assemble them on site. Place a few rocks underneath. In this case, we don't even need that because we already have the building standing there. We just put it on the concrete. Following this method, this kind of visual is to show how little structural support is needed to formulate this space, this area of space, which is enough to carry a comfortable bedroom, bathroom, kitchen, living room. And really, it's just the central beams going through it. You can't really see it in this, but also the exterior beams and the beams along the front and the back. And on top of that, you can build anything. You can clad whatever wall you want on it. You can attach all these, things onto the sides, place your furnitures, the existing column for the building. Really, the only thing you have to go around. Yeah, you don't even need walls. For example, this person, right, who's a landscape architect, is what I'm imagining this for. Doesn't even want walls. You see the central beams here that carry the loads. You can really do anything you want in here. He wanted an open floor plan. He has walls for the bathroom, which you don't even need for that. I just made it in here so it doesn't look too weird. This guy showers, takes a bath in the middle of the room. Who am I to judge? He likes it. And in terms of floor, right, this is where I kind of apply my stereotyping of landscape architects. So imagine this floor that is soft, like the different natural terrains that you step on. You got a bit of the lawn terrain, sand terrain, and in the kitchen space, you got a bit of soil. And all of this are made from repurposed materials. For example, if you want something that's a higher density, that it's not too soft to step on, you make it out of recycled mattresses. If you want something that's a bit softer, you choose clothing items that's recycled waste clothing, and you stuff all of these things into a sack, and you just sew them up, and you place them, and all of a sudden you have this really unique terrain that probably, if you're a nature person, I see this as a complete win. I just think it'd be really comfortable, and you get these like little plants also made from these like waste clothing, and then like sacked up sacks, and all of the furniture, including the bathtub, the table, the bed, the dining table, are all made of one tree trunk. And then on the walls, these different capsules that carries different soil types that he's collected over the years. You can see a guy digging sand. He's probably a landscape architect. A lot of wood, different materials, different types of wood around this house displayed. Bricks made of soil, different types of soil, some little architecture models. I just wanted to point this out for fun. It's got some like patches of artificial grass, so you get the feel of it. Suggests to the clients, here it is, this type of green you'll get. Yeah. And a bit about ornamentation. I see all of this personalization as a way of ornamenting your space. Look at this plain wall behind me. Well, I want to put these pictures up, but I can't drill. I'm scared to stick things on, so I'm actually going to build a table at school, put it behind it, and put the pictures on top. And I want to customize the fuck out of those tables, because really my room looks very basic. It's why I'm doing this project, so I want to ornamentalize our personal spaces. But the few questions that I was thinking of getting your feedback on. First of all, your opinion on self-building. Does it sound interesting? Would you like to self-build? And secondly, the role of architects today. How has it changed from the past to currently? Do you think we have a good foothold in building construction, and also kind of the trajectory of where we're going? Thirdly, any references that you think is applicable to this project? And also, in terms of design, any ideas for designing, drawing things, what kind of room to design? Thank you very much for watching this. I hope you enjoyed, and have a lovely day. A Place of Your Own is an architecture project focused on self-build and self-design in reaction to the homogeneity in modern living spaces. This theme of architectural personalization and ornamentation is explored through a mixture of interviews, drawings, and physical models. In response to the limiting nature of a student project, this project will also be shared in the form of YouTube videos to invite feedback and discussion from a wider audience.